Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we got to talk about DeAndre Hunter supposedly drawing interest from the Toronto Raptors. And we knew in the offseason a deal for Pascal Siakam was allegedly built around DeAndre Hunter, Bogdan Bogdanovic, AJ Griffin, and Kobe Buffkin in a first round pick. The Hawks said no because they didn't want to give up Buffkin. But with that being said, what we're hearing as more and more times pass, that the Hawks would be more than willing to move DeAndre Ayton if the price is right, and it seems like they're thinking about it. And for me, when I look at this current situation, I think the Hawks are realizing that they might have overpaid some of their players after that Eastern Conference Finals run, and now they're trying to see if they can make things work by moving on. I could see a guy like Gary Trent being a target, or a combination of Chris Boucher, Thad Young, Otto Porter, and maybe a pick or something as a way to get out from the contract of DeAndre Hunter and split it across multiple players, and maybe even throw in AJ Griffin in that deal, as we know AJ Griffin is a guy who's more than likely going to be on the move, as he's been put on the block by the Hawks. The Raptors, the thing with DeAndre Hunter, what are you getting if you're a Raptors fan and they trade for him? So he's a guy this season's playing 30 minutes a night, which is the second least amount of minutes of his career. He's averaging 15 points, 46% from the field, 40% from three, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists. And he was supposed to be a Swiss Army knife, do everything. And he flashed potentials his second season of becoming the guy that we thought he could become, but he never really fully achieved that. But he's a swing. He can play shooting guard, small forward, and even in a pinch, play small ball 4. And because he has prototypical size at 6'7", 225 pounds with a 7-foot wingspan, he does a little bit of everything. He can put the ball on the ground and run some pick and rolls, shoot from outside, attack in transition, and he's actually really good at attacking transition. He's fantastic at defending guards, just about all positions except bigs, and his offensive game is kind of inconsistent despite his well-roundedness. So that's kind of like a drawback of his. But what do you think a trade would be?
Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, a little video that we wanted to talk about with you guys, and that is the Hawks are willing to trade Clint Capella and DeAndre Hunter. I've said this ever since they re-signed Onyeka Okongwu, and ever since they drafted Okongwu, they were able to keep the price down, extend him cheap, and get him to be mentored and developed nicely by Clint. Now, Clint, it's time, okay? You need to get... They probably should have traded him this offseason because they had a bit more leverage, I feel like. But now everybody knows they have Onyeka Okongwu waiting. So I feel like he's still going to give you good return. Like, you're obviously going to get more return than what you gave up to get him, because you didn't really give up that much to get him back in the day. But what you will be is, hoping that Onyeka is ready. So let's just get into this. And DeAndre Hunter, they kind of overpaid. No offense. So the Hawks have discussed trades involving Clint Capella and DeAndre Hunter. We know that the Pascal Siakam deal was centered around DeAndre Hunter and I think Bogdan. Then there was that Clint Capella. The Mavericks wanted Clint Capella. So the Hawks have had discussions with the Indiana Pacers, I believe around DeAndre Hunter, the Detroit Pistons. I don't know if it's Clint Capella or DeAndre Hunter there. And the Toronto Raptors, we do know DeAndre Hunter's been talked there, as Atlanta has other more affordable options at the wing positions with, Sadiq Bey and the rest of the guys, and Jalen Johnson and Onyeka Okongwu, all playing similar positions as Capella and Hunter. And both of those guys were Travis Schleck guys. So when you look around, what are teams that need a center? I personally think the New Orleans Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies are the two teams most likely to get Mr. Clint Capella, because a deal for like Luke Kennard and maybe, I personally think if you look at Luke Kennard, John Conchar, and a pick for Clint Capella would move the needle. You get a shooter and you get a utility guy in John Conchar. And then DeAndre Hunter, you could see maybe a team like the Kings trade Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte in a pick. And there you walk away with 4 players and 2 first-round picks, maybe with some sort of protections for 2 players. So you turn 2 players into 4 solid rotational players on decent deals or expiring deal. Chris Duarte, I think he's still on a rookie deal. You got Harrison Barnes on a pretty cheap deal, like medium salary. You have Luke Kennard similarly, and John Carsar on a very cheap deal. So I feel like right there you get yourselves a win-win. And in my mind, like, that's really money-wise, I wonder if that's because this is a team that they just need to get deeper. What do you guys think? Because they need to get more guys who fit Quinn Snyder, and that's just they got their big. And right here, the one thing, if you do this deal, they would probably want a big back for one of those teams. And I think the Kings could give them a big, and maybe if they wanted Alex Lynn, but like the Hawks are currently 12-16. They need better defense. And I know Luke Kennard doesn't get the defense right there. So let's go through and let's talk about this and like kind of I'll pull up I got the trade machine. I think technically speaking, if we were the Pelicans might be a better trade team, but let's send the Grizz. Like, I actually think the Pelicans are better than the Grizzlies. Let's talk Pelicans instead of Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies also have Bismack Biyombo now. While we know that the Pelicans are interested in Jared Allen and are trying to get rid of Jonas Valanciunas. Now, Jonas isn't expiring, and the Hawks are a team that likes to get under the cap. So let's say the Hawks send Clint Capella, who's making $20 million, to the Pelicans. They send Mr. Freaking Clint Capella and let's say Patty Mills to the Pelicans. Pelicans get Clint Capella, Patty Mills. Pelicans send, and they're getting right now $27 million incoming, so they do need to move some money, and that would be Kyra Lewis Jr. to the Hawks, Nanji Marshall to the Hawks, and right with a first-round pick. So that's $23 million they're sending out, and I think they send over LA's pick to the Hawk that has no protection, while the Kings, and also we don't have to stick with Mr. Patty Mills going there because we could see if the Kings or a fourth team could come in. But I think Harrison Barnes with Chris Duarte, because they're not really playing him. Maybe they send in Alex Lynn because they do need a backup big, the Hawks, if you do trade. And then you send DeAndre Hunter to the Kings, and the Kings, because the Kings would be receiving right there incoming. I want to say the Kings outgoing, and they'd have $20 million coming in. So I think the Hawks would just have to give up one more guy in this hypothetical trade situation, which they were going like play by play. I mean, they do have Bruno. Let's just send. And then I want the Kings to send one first-round pick. And this is where I'm sending. I feel like it's somewhat reasonable that this trade would work between all these teams, as the one thing that I think that would hold off monetarily is all right, so this deal right here would be Clint Capella and Patty Mills to the Pelicans, DeAndre Hunter and Bruno Fernando to the Kings, and Harrison Barnes, Jonas Valanciunas. I see this is too much. It's too much. So, yeah, why did I put Alex Lynn in here? Let's close up this deal. I messed up, guys. I messed up. Thank you for – I hope nobody saw, like, how dumb of a deal in my part this would be. And for me, I think, maybe we do just take Patty Mills because we have incoming. They want to move Patty Mills. I mean, if we just retry this trade, I think it works like this. Yeah. So Harrison Barnes, Jonas Valanciunas, Kyra Lewis Jr., Chris Duarte, and Nanji Marshall, the 2024 LA first-round pick from the Pelicans, and the 2030 first-round pick from the Kings. You send Clint Capella to the Pelicans, and the Kings get DeAndre Hunter and Bruno Fernando. This deal, the Clint Capella for Jonas Valanciunas, Nanji Marshall, and Kyra Lewis Jr. is realistic. Now, Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte for DeAndre Hunter and Bruno Fernando, maybe not. And that's maybe like where we're at. But that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What did you guys think of this? I definitely thought it was maybe a bit more doable than it actually ended up being. As you can see, I feel like the trade is a bit more convoluted than I anticipated, and I think that's the biggest thing that keeps this trade from happening is how how convoluted it is. But that's definitely where I want to hear your guys' thoughts, if you guys would do it or not. But yeah, that's going to be today's video. We're just milk this to the 8-minute marker because you know how that works with the pay and everything. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you guys did, long video, but who cares? It's you guys watching this means the world to me. So thank you for everything, and like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. But have a good one. Peace. Oh.